So you are good at your job and you're confident, you're smart, you're hardworking, you've got a lot of great experience and knowledge to share, and maybe you're wondering, okay, why is that not translating to my coaching business? That's what we're going to talk about today. Hey there, if you're new to me, my name is Luisa Zhou, and I help ambitious men and women go from employee to entrepreneur. And today I want to really talk about, I work with the majority of my clients are people who are employees, they're successful, they're doing well in their jobs, and they're wondering, okay, why is what I'm doing not helping me be successful faster in my business? I feel like I've earned some street cred with my career. And the biggest reason for that is why the rules are completely different for succeeding in your career versus your business. Here's the thing. You have to think about this. When you are in your 9 to 5, your goal is to be part of a team. Yes, you can, of course, do better and get promoted and get raises and all of that, but ultimately you are functioning as part of a team, right? Whereas when you are a coach, an entrepreneur, a consultant, whatever, in that role, your business has to be the star. And so when you think about it that way, what you have to do, the role that you have to play, the rules that you have to play by are completely different. That doesn't mean you can't apply your experience and knowledge to your business. It just means you have to shift your rules and the way you think a little bit. So today I took some notes because I really wanted to think through this and talk through the top ways that I see my clients really trying to fit their 9 to 5 success rules into their businesses and what to do instead. Hey there, Irene, good to see you. So the first thing that I see so many of my clients doing is taking that corporate mentality, which is so ingrained in us. It took me years to kind of rework my mind into a different way of thinking, is to try and do what others are doing. Right? Because how do you succeed in a job? You fit in, you see what's working. Maybe the first few days, weeks, months you're in a job, you're really studying, all right, this is the process for doing things. You have all these operating processes and rules and ways of policies and processes to follow for that job. And that's how you succeed and do well. But in the online business world, that's the exact opposite of what you need to be doing. Because think about it, when you are doing what everyone else is doing, that works great in the corporate world because you fit in and you are helping everything go smoothly. What does that do for you when you are in the online world, though? Nothing. It really isn't. What it does is it makes you look like just another Me Too type of coach or entrepreneur. It doesn't help you stand out at all. It doesn't showcase your personality, and someone will read your content and say, okay, cool, just another person. I mean, I can't tell you, in my Facebook community, entrepreneurial leaders, I go in there and I see so many smart people, and I know them. And so I know their personalities, the way they actually speak, what makes them so great and special. And I look at their content, though, and post after post sounds the same. And it's because you see what other people are doing. It's like, oh, they're posting this type of post. They're posting in this place. They're writing this type of content. It must be working for them. So let me try that too. First of all, of course, you don't know what's working for what business, right? You can't really, it's really hard to tell. But when you do that, like I said, you don't know what's working. You don't know what's working for you. And people see that and then just kind of zone out because it's like, oh, another one of those. So what you want to be doing is instead the exact opposite. You don't want to fit in. You want to own your quirks, your personalities, your weirdnesses, your ways of speaking, all of that, so that you actually stand out. And I'll tell you at this point, I get a lot of people who ask me, well, am I going to get haters? Am I going to get people who aren't interested? Yeah. But that's great, because if you're getting haters, that means you're also getting people who love you as well. And it's better to have people who are like, oh, this is the person for me. I know this is the person I want to work with. And people who say, no, I would never work with that person. Versus people just being like, okay, that person's vanilla. I see their content and okay, that's nice. right? You kind of want that a little bit in the corporate world, but in your business, you want the exact opposite of that, right? So you basically want to be thinking in terms of opposites. What you do in the corporate world, opposite is what you want to do in your business as a coach, consultant, etc. So that's thing number one that I see all the time. Now, number two is similar, and this is huge. It's the way we're taught to speak in the corporate world. So I spent so long trying to unlearn this, where you're saying things like, hi, so-and-so, here's what's going on, really, really formal. And then you say things like, please advise. I don't know, that's a phrase I remember using and seeing so often as well, just please advise on this, right? It's very kind of robotic. You're not supposed to put a ton of personality in there. You don't want to put any icons or anything. And when you speak like that in the online world, right, on social media, people are like, what is this? It sounds like a robot. And when you do it that way, no one really sees that you. And I'll tell you, it's so funny. When I used to work in the corporate world and I used to write like that, and then after I left my job, I would email with some of my coworkers. And the way I email personally is so different. I feel like sometimes I email like a I don't know, high schooler or middle schooler. I write lots of exclamation marks. My thoughts are all over the place. I'm like, LOL, all of that. But I'm also a lot more sarcastic and funny. And people tell me it feels like I'm talking to a completely different person. Right? It feels like I'm talking to a real person. Why are you so much more fun in these emails than you ever were at your job? So not saying I totally succeeded there, but where I'm going with this is you want to be kind of whatever that version I was, where my friends are saying, oh my gosh, you're so much more fun, and I want to hang out with you. You seem so much more cool. You want to be that version of yourself online. And it's not about let me try and turn myself into this certain type of person. It literally is just this is a tip I give all the time that really makes a big difference. Say what you want to speak. It's like say out loud what you want to share, the way you would say it, and then just type that out. Just do that and then post that. And you're going to see that's going to make such a big difference for how people respond to you, how they see you, and they're going to see, okay, this is a real person I'm speaking with really funny stories and really funny way of speaking, maybe your sense of humor, maybe your wit, maybe your sarcasm, whatever that is, it's going to instantly stand out. And that's what's going to make people interested to come back and want to see more of your content, right? Because you have to remember, people don't go online to be sold to or to, nerd out on 1,000-word social media posts. So there are some exceptions, but most people don't. And most of your clients are not either. They're coming online to be entertained, to connect, to really see what's going on out there and kind of escape from all of the stuff going on in the real world, right? And so you want to give people what they want. There's so much to business just about giving your audience what they want. That's going to make it so much easier for you and so much more fun too, honestly. So that's thing number two that I see all the time. Thing number three that I see happening a lot is, in the corporate world, there are a lot of things that you have to do just because you have to do them, right? Give me a yes in the comments if you've ever had to go to a meeting that was totally pointless because you just have to, right? Maybe you don't have anything to contribute. Maybe there's nothing that's really relevant to you, but you kind of just have to. It's what's expected. Or you have to go somewhere for FaceTime, just again to show up and show you're there. Or maybe even, I know a lot of people have experienced this, you have to show up at a certain time. You can't leave until a certain time. But even if you're super efficient with your work, right? You're done with everything. Maybe you've done a 200% of what you need to do. You're more efficient than other people maybe. But you know what? You can't leave early. You can't come in late. You need to be there, right? Again, I'm not saying all jobs are like this. There are always exceptions. But that's a lot of things I remember from my experiences. And I had a great, employer. And it's just part of the corporate process. And the thing is, that's completely different to what you have to be doing in your own business. In your own business, you're not just checking off checkboxes. In fact, you need to be way more efficient with your time. If something is not contributing to, especially when you're starting out, you getting clients, you connecting with clients, you building your audience, anything that directly results in you getting in front of potential clients and ultimately making sales, that's not something that needs to be done, right? It's not about checking off checkboxes. So I'll tell you something I see for a lot of my best clients is they have such an amazing work ethic, and they'll look at the to-do list. They'll say, okay, I need to, do market research interviews. I need to put up my website. I need to write this content. And then they'll go out there and do it. So they'll boom, 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 boom. But then they'll come back and say, okay, I did all of this. And I'll ask, okay, so the goal was to connect with this many people, potential clients. How many have you connected with? They'll say, oh, not that many. Because I just wanted to move ahead. I felt like I was getting behind something, right? That's a huge change in mindset in the corporate world versus in your own business, because there's no such thing as behind in your business. Who are you comparing against? What timeline are you comparing against? In fact, I would rather my client go out there and get, one market research interview that results in someone being like, yes, I want to work with you. How can I hire you? Versus, oh, hey, I wrote 10 posts, I set up my gorgeous website, and then I went out there and did all this, and no one was interested. I didn't get any clients, right? And so you really have to switch the way, or I spent 20 hours working on this great pop-up and I feel so good about it. But again, it didn't bring me any clients or any new potential clients. And so when you think about it that way, it's a complete shift in terms of what it is that your end goal is. And it's really interesting. So often I get clients who ask me, and this is one of the most common questions I get, and I get it. How much time do I need to be spending on this or this? How much time do I need to put away to do whatever? And my response is usually, there are some exceptions, but it's usually, I want you to switch from thinking in terms of time units, because in your job, it's about the time. How much time have I spent on this? Am I showing up? Am I showing up for my 8, 10 hours a day or whatever? Versus in your business, it's more in terms of sales units, potential client units. And it's actually better because it takes less time. So if you're thinking, my goal today is to connect with 3 potential clients. Great. Maybe you reach out to someone who said they were interested. Maybe you reach out to someone who said they had a referral for you, and maybe you do one social media post, right? That could take you less than 30 minutes. Or less. Just depends on where you are in your business. And when you do that, it's a lot more effective than saying, okay, I'm going to spend an hour, 3 hours, whatever on my business. It's just, I'm going to do this many units of this, whatever that result is, often sales units. And then I'm done, right? So it's a huge, huge shift in thinking. Now, the final thing, the top 4 most common things that I see with my clients, the final thing is in your career, it's about your experience. It's about giving people time to get to know you, right? You enter a new job. Of course, most of the time you're expected to have, maybe 90 days, maybe a few weeks, give or take, to really ramp up and get going. Then you bring your experience and people get to know you bit by bit. Maybe you have a chat at the coffee machine. Maybe you have another chat at lunch, and it builds. You have a good long amount of time to do it, because maybe you guys are going to be there for a few years, maybe longer, It's the exact opposite in the online world. Now, I do want to caveat, yes, you are going to build long-term relationships with your audience. You are going to be doing this for a while. So I'm not saying that, I don't want anyone walking away from this live stream thinking, oh no, I'm not going to have to build any long-term relationships. That is critical. But you also have to remember, there are so many people who are going to find you. They're going to be looking for the solution that you provide, and they're going to be ready to buy now. Right? Whereas when you usually first enter a new job, you might get some, a lot of responsibility right off the bat, but you're given that leeway. You're not expected necessarily to perform at 100% from day one. Again, I know there are always exceptions, but we're talking about in general. And so what happens is in the online world, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to wait a really long time, right? This is where a lot of that common advice comes from. I'm going to wait a really long time. I'm just going to write my blog post. I'm going to put my website out there. I'm going to write my long-term social media stuff. And eventually, I'm going to have some clients find me. They're just going to come to me. It's a waiting game, because in the corporate world, that's a lot of what it is. It's not, again, this is not to, say anything bad about the corporate world, just facts and my own experiences. And so when you apply that to the online world, though, what does that mean? It means you're doing all this work and you're just sitting there waiting for clients to come find you. When the truth is, for your clients, at the point when they are looking for a solution, they are looking for a solution now, right? I mean, think about it. What is your top problem right now? If you want to build a business, you want to lose weight, you want to find love, do you want to wait 2 years from now? No, you want it now. And it's the same thing for your potential clients, whatever problem you solve. If it's, I help you with copywriting, I help you build a website, I help your kid get into college. Everybody wants things now. And so when you're thinking about the content you create, it's not, let me build a relationship and in 2 years from now, maybe you'll want to buy from me. It's, what do I need to share with you now so that boom, I know my stuff. I'm here to help you. You can see that I'm, an honest person. I'm not here to scam you. I'm not making this up. What do you need to be able to share to do that? So it's a complete shift in the way you're thinking and the way you're thinking about your business and your marketing and your sales. It's not about, being salesy or let me go ahead and push this on you. No, that really doesn't work anyways. But it's about knowing, all right, if someone wants the solution I have, they're going to want it today, not however long from now. And so you have to really think, this is where all these 4 steps tie in. When you're creating the content that we just talked about, right? When you're using your own voice, when you are putting yourself out there in all of the different ways I talk about, you're able to instantly show up and show your audience, your potential clients, hey, I'm here to help you right now, or, whenever you are ready. It's about, that's what it's really about. So that's what I wanted to share today. As I was really thinking about, one of my clients' posts really had me thinking about this and wanted to share, and I hope you find this helpful, because I know it just took me so long to get out of this kind of corporate mindset, because we're programmed to succeed that way. That's all I knew growing up. So it was a completely different world shifting into my first online business. So I'm seeing a question from Steven. How do you market yourself in one-on-one sessions without sounding like you're bragging, which puts everyone off? So yeah, Steven, there's like that fine line between being confident and bragging, right? You're not going to sit there and talk about yourself all the time, but you have to think about it this way. When someone is coming to you, they want to know that they can trust you. That's huge. They really need to know, okay, this person is legitimate. And so the best way to do it is to talk about the results you've either helped yourself get or your clients get, right? And so I could sit here and talk all day long about, I helped this client build this great business or have this great launch or, replace their income this quickly. And those are things that your potential clients, whatever the equivalent of that for you is, they want to hear. They want to know you've helped other people just like me where I am now get results. And so when you share it that way, it's about showing your credibility versus bragging. Because when you talk about your other clients or the people you've helped, maybe even for free, it's not, oh, I'm so great and amazing. It's, hey, I know my stuff and I've helped this many people do this kind of thing. And that's really how you shift that energy, right? And it really applies to anything anything. I could just list that on and on all day. Awesome. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today as you're thinking about, if you are smart, you're hardworking, you're confident, you're like, I am successful in my job. Where is the struggle coming from for my coaching business? This is what's going on. It's just a different set of rules. You're going to learn them and excel at them just the same way you've learned and excelled in your career. And once you do, you make these shifts, you're going to just see the results build up just like you did in your job. Awesome. So that's all I have for you guys today. And as always, thank you guys for being here. Even if you're watching just as if you're watching the replay, thanks for your awesome energy and I'll see you guys soon. All right. Bye everyone.